So I'm on my way out to an area where I have a game camera. It's been there for a couple of months. Hoping it's still there and that it's not been taken by a bear. I'm just gonna pull it. I need to service it. Getting my hike on. Look at those mountains. Absolutely stunning. I love when I see them snow-capped. Beautiful. All right, I'm heading down to an area where I have my game camera. Down in an area we call Three Creeks. It's a confluence of three creeks that combine into one. Now, I don't put game cameras out per se or necessarily to get evidence of Sasquatch. I think that's an interesting impression. It's an interesting impression right there. I'll have to come back up and check that one out. But I don't necessarily put game cameras out to, get a photo or video of Sasquatch. I mean, that'd be nice, but it's needle in a haystack. A moving needle in a haystack. And you've got thousands of, hundreds of thousands of acres. And I have seen some good game camera photos over the years. And video. I myself have one that it's either a person or it's a Sasquatch. And I'll probably share that one day, but I mainly put game cameras out to see and capture the known wildlife. I like to, as a hunter even, I like to capture bear, elk, deer, mountain lion, and everything in between. And it gives you a good idea of what's moving through these areas, what time of day, time of year. Right there you got some black-tailed deer scat. When I get down here, I'm going to explain to you guys why I place my camera down here specifically. Yes, it's to capture the known stuff, the known animals. But I think it gives me a better chance of possibly getting a Sasquatch on film or on video. I'll tell you what, it's supposed to dump later again. Dump rain. But right now it's perfect out. It's about 48 degrees, maybe 47 degrees out. No rain, very slight breeze. And you hear my company in the background, that crow. All right, I'm gonna head down. All right, it's a wee bit steep here. Lots of sign of deer. Hopefully my camera's still here. Hopefully a bear didn't get it. Lots of deer tracks, lots of movement. Probably bear. Yeah. A little bear movement, lots of deer. Creek's a little low. Let's see if my camera's here. There's lots of movement up and down this hill. Good stuff though. Beautiful. And as you can see, my camera's still there. Hopefully it worked. Nothing knocked it over. I usually don't strap my cameras because it's just an extra visual thing that animals can pick up on because it's got straight lines. Now I did have it covered up more than that, and that's not an expensive camera. That's a pretty cheap camera. It's not one I would mind losing. So hopefully, I doubt it's still running, but hopefully he's captured some animals. You get a lot of bear, deer, mountain lion, bobcat that come down off this hillside, cross. They'll use the fallen Doug fir to cross, or they'll go right through the water, especially when it's this low. So I'm gonna grab this camera now. It's definitely not running. Oh, it's got water in there too. It's been here a while. Gotta love the, oh yeah, look at the amount of water in there. This camera could be toast. Wow. That's kind of what you get for cheap cameras. I do like a lot of models, and this one's good, but it's got water in there. Ay, ay, ay. We shall see. So I told you guys I was going to tell you why I place trail cameras down in areas like this next to creeks and rivers. And there's a number of reasons, but if you look at like the Patterson-Gimlin film where Patty was filmed from 1967, I was filmed on Bluff Creek. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, no doubt in my mind, recorded a Sasquatch down by a creek. And then historically speaking, if you look at all the, not all of them, but a lot of the sightings where someone's down by a river or a creek and they come across a Sasquatch, and that Sasquatch did not know that person was there. Or a person's down by a river or creek, whether they're bathing, fishing, hiking, camping, and a Sasquatch comes along and didn't realize the person was there. It goes both ways, right? And there's lots of reports like that where the Sasquatch is surprised, the person is surprised, and it just got my wheels, you know, spinning. And I thought, well, why is that? Well, it's not rocket science, right? I mean, you have, I think you could hear this on the camera, you have the creek. The river is running, so you got noise. You have a lot of different smells coming down the river. Also, the river and creeks are a visual distraction, right? You come down there, it's the first thing you see. And if you're crossing it, your attention's on the creek or river. And so for me, I think the best chance, the best opportunity to get really good footage on a trail camera is next to a river or a creek. you know, hiding the camera well, but it helps muffle the sound, helps muffle the smell, things that people complain about, that there's no way we can get Sasquatch on cameras, and I call malarkey. I think we have, and I think we can. It is a long shot, don't get me wrong. I don't think this is foolproof. I think Sasquatch is very alert and very smart, very observant, but why not give it a try? You got nothing to lose, right? And you're going to get other really cool animals, because everything's got to go towards water at some point in time. They have to cross a river, they have to go down or a creek. They need water to sustain themselves. They need water to drink. Animals come down here to do that. So you got hunting possibilities, predation possibilities. You have salmon and fish, steelhead in these rivers. You got crustaceans, you have frogs. So it makes a lot of sense that at some point in time, animals come down here, right? Well, why not Sasquatch? And again, historically speaking, some of the best encounters have happened in areas like this, a creek, a river. So if you have that opportunity and are interested, I highly recommend placing a camera out in an area like this. You got nothing to lose. I mean, hopefully you got a remote and hard to get to spot. It keeps the cameras from getting stolen, and you might lose one to a bear. I've lost a few. But I like to put them in stumps. You typically bury them in a stump facing a certain direction and kind of conceal them, cover them up a bit. And hey, like I said, it's worth a shot, right? Maybe one of these days myself or someone else will get lucky. Never say never. I'm an optimist, because I know there's Sasquatch out there. It's just a matter of them coming through, because I know where to put a camera to capture deer, bear, mountain lion, elk, but I can't claim to know where to put a camera for a Sasquatch. That's not going to happen, but I can try. I often say if I had my choice of where I'd place a trail camera besides this spot, would be up in the really thick stuff, that thick huckleberry we traverse, because I think that's where the Sasquatch are mainly moving, through that thick stuff. You don't see tracks because it's so thick and gnarly and it's hard to find. You can conceal yourself in that stuff as a Sasquatch. But the reason I don't put a camera in there is very obvious. You're going to get 1,000 shots of when the wind blows of just branches and stuff. And again, moving needle in a haystack, I'd have to have that camera in the right spot. So it's numbers wise, and it's near impossible. And I don't want to review 1,000 photos or video of plant life moving in the wind. So this is where I kind of tend to put my cameras. So just food for thought, just an idea. Maybe I'm curious to see what I have on this camera. I'm going to review it when I get back home and later on tonight, and see what we have. I don't obviously expect to have a Sasquatch on there, but I do expect, if it worked and didn't get that water that got in there, if it didn't destroy the batteries, hopefully I'll have some black-tailed deer, maybe a couple of cats on there, definitely deer, and hopefully some bear. Nothing messed with it, so that's got me excited. Here's something else I wanted to show you guys that's very very dear to my heart. Here's my initials. Excuse me, sorry. There is the crown, Scottish thistle, and my initials, Shane Corson, and this really cool carved Sasquatch face, and it's a walking stick. And what's really neat about walking sticks is that they go with you everywhere. They're like a friend. They help support you. They go on your adventures, and this particular stick right here was made for me by my good friend John Pickering. John Pickering is just an absolute beast of a man when it comes to hiking, exploring, his knowledge of the fauna, the outdoors, and there's just nobody else, I think, that can compare to him when it comes to knowledge on Sasquatch, or possible knowledge on this guy. He's just super intelligent, and I love him because this stick will be with me the rest of my life, and it'll be on all my adventures. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. You're going to see a lot of this walking stick. Pretty much goes everywhere with me, and I'm very happy with it. And like I said, if you want to know more about John Pickering, John Pickering's been around the block for a while, and he did a recent interview on Salish Sasquatch. You can find it on YouTube. John and Sarah Brown have a great channel. John Pickering did a rare interview with them. He's just so knowledgeable and very humble. So, all right, well, I'm getting ready to hike on out of here. Make my way back out. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and see what we have on that game camera. Billy goat country, as they say. So I just got done reviewing my trail cam footage from that trip, and no surprise, no Sasquatch, but I did capture kind of what I expected. I got some bear, I got deer, but unfortunately during that time frame we had a lot of rain and we had snow, and so my camera got messed up. It got kind of buried in snow, which created a bunch of distortion and moisture inside the lens and the batteries. And so I'm not sure that camera is going to work anymore. I just got it home and drying it out now. So here you see me setting up my camera, and just I like to do a comparison with me in frame as a sort of comparison for size. That's why I stand in front of the camera. I don't know what I was doing there. I was probably looking at travel routes, but here you have a large black bear moving through the creek. Eventually, this black bear makes his way up towards my camera, sniffs around. You can see the moisture from his breath. Based on the head shape, the shortness of the ears, and the snout, I lean towards a 4. And again, this camera is an older camera. It's working off a flash. So it's a little more obvious than other cameras. Here's your typical black-tailed deer. I think this deer was probably smelling that bear coming through the area, because she sticks around for a minute and is sniffing around, knowing that there is a predator in the area. That's what I'm assuming. And this here is, of course, a buck, a black-tailed buck. Beautiful buck. Here you have a doe and a couple of Bambis following her around in the creek. And then you get your orb, right? No, it's a spider web. I get pretty tired of people claiming there's orbs in their videos, especially with trail cameras, and most of them are very explainable. Not all of them, but most of them, and this is a spider web, obviously. And again, we have the same 3 black-tailed deer moving through the area. And there's that pesky orb up in the right corner. Nope, it's a cobweb. Here again, we have a buck that's kind of moving around. I got a lot of blacktail on here. I got them running around. This blacktail at this point in time was probably chasing does around. I had him sprinting around in a couple of videos, but moving through the creek to the other side. And here we have more orbs. No, we have water particles. We have a lot of stuff floating through the air. This one I shared because if you look at the lens, it's got water on it. And so it gives this weird aura around the eyeball and the head of this black-tailed deer. There's nothing nefarious about this, nothing weird. It's water on the lens, and you get that sort of picture. But here's the snow coming in, and like I said, I put my cameras on stumps, and so they tend to get buried in snow when indeed it does snow. And that kind of messed up my camera. It got buried in a lot of snow. And then we move into here where, again, very explainable. People call these things, you know, this, oh, there's an orb or a portal or whatever have you. And in fact, it's just water condensation on the lens. So you have this reflective light, and very explainable. Okay, that's a wrap for me. Thank you so much for tuning in and coming along with me and hanging out. And until next time, you guys all take care. God bless, and we'll see you soon.